first, thanks for letting me miss last month. I knew it was the 12th, but didn't realize the date. My daughter got married the Saturday prior, and then my other daughter's birthday was on the 12th, and we were out at a carnival when I panic text Lisa. So, but yeah, everything's pretty much status quo for the winter season. Everything's running well.
Do you think we can take that feedback?
We did have a leak in the acid pump at Apache. It's the seal from the pump, those are made to go out from time to time. So I was able to order that, I got that repaired this afternoon. So that's completely repaired and working properly now.
Okay.
Over the next month, I'll be going through doing an audit of both facilities and coming to you with a list of suggestions for to get ready for summer.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. I will have Lisa follow up with you on the polar bear plunge and a date and all that. Okay.
Yes, I actually received that from them, and we are able to staff that and everything. I'm going to be out of town from the 29th through the 4th, but I do have staff in place, and they'll be here for that.
Fantastic. All right, thanks, Mark. Happy holidays. Okay, thank you, Amanda. PR Communications. Again, we haven't, Shoemaker and I are on communications now. We have not met yet. We did get a draft of the newsletter. It's going to come out on the 18th. It looks fantastic. Something's kind of fun. I received a really cool picture from one of my neighbors at the creek, a really cool bird. And so we're going to kind of put out a call to residents to start submitting neat pictures in the creek around and give them credit for it. So sometimes, the residents capture the coolest images of the neighborhood. So, Lisa, do you have anything to add to that?
I don't actually. We're excited to get this newsletter out. We're excited to start getting pictures in from the residents, and we should have the newsletter out by the 18th with your bills, and then we will have Ben push it out by Crossroads, hopefully by the 20th.
Fantastic. Okay. I'm going to skip restrictive covenants till the end, if that's all right. Well, this in before the end. Finance and audit. We're going to go ahead. We're going to go into executive session real quick. It'll just be like 3 minutes. And we will be back. No decisions will be made. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into Tyler. Yes, go ahead.
I have a motion.
On finance?
Oh, sorry, no.
Tyler. Hello.
Yes, I'm here. All right, thank you. For my reports, we have checks for approval 9223 through 9259. There was also a supplemental report sent out to you guys with checks 9260 through 9262. There were 3 wires this month, 2 of those going to the manager's account in order to cover the bills, and 1 was your tax transfers. Speaking of the tax, we've started making collections on your 2024 tax levy. We're currently at about just under 2%, and you typically see a majority of your collections in December and January. And for CDs, we have the same 3 CDs that we've been holding. One of those is set to mature later this month. We will go ahead and renew that under the assumption that the bank is accepting new monthly CDs.
Okay, do I have a motion, payment of bills, fund transfers, and investments?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Okay, thank you. Under finance, audit subcommittee, do you all have anything?
No.
Okay, do we need to mention the AT&T or?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
we can just direct Lisa.
Okay, great.
Because
And then, we don't talk about that right now. Okay, great. Services.
I'm sorry, did we jump to, I'm sorry, I don't know if we skipped over RCs.
I did?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back. Do you have a motion?
yes, Sean, tell me if I get this wrong, but so I motion due to the negative impact to the tax value of the district as a result of the restrictive covenant violations, to move forward with litigation at 15006 Snelling.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, thank you. Anything else under RCs? Oh, yes. Oh, no, okay.
Oh, yeah, with the director.
Okay, do you wanna make a directive to Sean?
Yes, Sean, please reach out to Cam to discuss the issues of, the photographs they take.
Will do.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we will add that to the January agenda.
Will do.
Thank you very much. Okay, services, Jim is notified us last month, he will not be here, he'll be back here in January, he gave us an update on Nebraska Furniture Mart. And David Gray is not here, I don't think they have an update, I didn't even hear from him or see anything, so. I usually talk to him, so I think we're okay there. Crossroads, Ben. Hey there. Good.
Alright, I'll try to keep it short. Really, everything's been going well, our water loss is trending at 9%, and that's just the November data. At the January meeting, I'll have to bring this past month, just because we met on the 12th, so I don't have our full data for this month, or for this past month. And then I just really have two write-offs for your approval. There's two of them, one's for $109, one is for $105, which would be a total of $214.86. I just need approval on those two write-offs.
Okay, do you have a motion? Motion. Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Thank you.
And then I think Nancy may have sent these out, I'm just gonna pass these out, just give this to you and pass them around, but
Yes, of course.
this is from Ernie with AT&T, so he sent this to me. It's in the packet, we don't really have to dive into it. But this is looking like they're gonna be using this method when they start in January. I don't know where they're starting yet, we don't know the timeline of what day is the official day.
I thought last month you said 2026.
No, 2025, January 2025.
Oh,
Yeah, but I don't know when or where, like if it's starting on January 20th or,
okay.
yeah.
Then that is a completely different understanding. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect. So,
exactly.
okay, because residents were
I don't
asking
understand
just
that.
recently, so hopefully they're
Yeah.
watching. AT&T is coming back next month.
Yes.
To get going, and I think from when Ernie was here, he said they were gonna do over on Tomlinson.
Okay. Well, we'll see what he says, but I will relay the info, but that's,
Okay.
I'm not advocating for it, I'm just relaying the message, I'm not
Yeah.
in favor or not in favor of however they do it, he just gave me the info and, I said, please keep me updated so I can update the board,
Perfect.
and so we'll just go from there.
Okay, thank you.
So then, do you know anything about micro trenching? Because it seems like they're going into roads or concrete.
Yeah, so from I know just as much as the handout says, it's basically just a less invasive way to install the fiber cable.
Mhm.
And because Blockhouse has an older system, digging into the yards is probably not the best idea considering the things that we just had happen last
Right.
time. So I think Ernie knows that and maybe they're trying to see if we'll do it this way and maybe we'll get less water breaks, sewer breaks and less customer complaints with just an inch and a half, a hole in the ground as opposed to digging up earth.
Yeah.
So,
I appreciate them thinking outside the box a little bit and trying to look at,
Yes.
the court issue. Would you go back to Ernie, just make sure, if it is truly just in the street, we'll make sure they're working with Williamson County, on some, if they need some road closures or
Mhm.
controls or something with y'all.
yeah, when the 2-minute phone call I had with him, when he suggested this, he says that, or he told me that, because it's in the right of way and it's in the curb line,
Okay.
it doesn't impede any, Williamson County rules, but I can double check on that, just to make sure that they don't need to be, clued in on that as well.
What it will impact is on trash days, putting the trash
Yes,
cans
trash
out there.
cans.
So we just need to get some communication out with residents and with AT&T to make sure we're all on the
Okay.
same page.
And I'm gonna request Ernie to get him in here for a meeting, maybe when they do start up again,
Great.
but obviously we can't force him to show up, I'll try my best to try to get him to come,
You can always zoom in if you feel
Yeah.
more comfortable with that.
Probably a dumb question, but they're subbing it out, they're not doing it in-house, are they?
Oh, yeah, no, they're probably using, just like the previous guys, they're probably subbing out a subcontractor of a subcontractor from
Yeah.
AT&T,
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
But that's all I have for y'all, if you guys have any questions.
that's it. All right, thank you. Happy holidays.
Yes,
Thank
Merry
you very
Christmas
much.
to y'all,
You
you
too.
guys have a good night.
Thanks for the information.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Okay, TDS, Jamar is here and I don't think we're ready to take action on the amendment, correct?
I think that's right, I think in
Okay.
Lisa's, general management report, I think she has some information in that.
Okay, hey Lisa, do you wanna go ahead and jump in?
Yeah, guys, hi.
Hi. Oh, Jamar, no, he's there. Hey.
I just wanted to make sure that you guys could actually, on my general management memo, that you do see the cost that we actually discussed last month in regards to the different ideas as far as how you all want to handle the amendment. That information and the costs are there. It's the same information that Jamar provided to us. So if you have any questions, obviously we can go over that. Again, we're not ready for that amendment at this time, but this is just more for information for you all. Okay.
Perfect. Director Johnson, did you talk to Director Shoemaker about that subcommittee?
No, I did not, but I will do that, this evening.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and share, okay?
Yes, please.
So Director Shoemaker and Johnson are on the subcommittee. Prior to that, Director Roberts and I were on it. It's kind of an ad hoc subcommittee. The legislature is about to start up, so Director Johnson asked if I would jump in, if Shoemaker didn't mind. So I'll probably work with Johnson on this. I've got some experience and some background that maybe Johnson doesn't have, so it'd be probably good. I'm gonna flip a little bit here real quick. Both of you were able to attend the TDS tour, which I heard fantastic things about. Thank you so much for hosting them. My apologies, I had COVID, so I would have been there, and I am gonna follow up on the tour soon. But I think you all learned a lot of some cool things that I didn't even know they were doing, so I don't know if you guys talked about any of this, because it was an open meeting, you could have, but do you have anything else to add, that since Jamar's here, or do we just need to go and meet as a subcommittee, and then maybe meet with Jamar, flesh out some things,
You
and
mean about the tour or about the ideas?
the ideas on that?
The ideas. The only thing that, and Jamar was kind enough to get me all the data, and so I'm still, poring over it. I do have a follow-up question for you, actually. But, what I'm trying to see is out of the 8% or so of our potential bulk curbside pickups that we use, how many of those are in, like, how many people use 3? And how many people, is it just a bunch of people using 1? Or are they more like yourself who use, like, up to the 3, right? My house tends to use 1, maybe 2 a year.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how many people are more like us, or how many people are more like you, because that way, if we reduce it to 1, it makes sense total, like, in aggregate, but how many households are we impacting? So,
Okay,
that analysis is not complete.
okay, great, well then, follow up with Jamar on whatever your follow-up questions
will.
are, you can do that later, and then get permission from Shoemaker, and then if you wouldn't mind sharing that data with me,
Absolutely.
and we'll get moving on this, okay?
No, you are totally fine, take as much time as you need, this was not a loss on my part, because as you know, annually I make a visit to play Santa Claus, while you all went into executive session. I took the liberty of putting what I typically bring, it's a little twist this year, but it's on Amy's desk.
Oh, thank you, I thought you were gonna say twisted, I'm like, oh.
No.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and
Yes.
again, thank you for hosting them, I
Yes,
really,
You're very
it's
welcome,
greatly
and just let me know,
Yeah.
one of the objectives for us in 2025 is to make more people available on our team to give a proficient tour.
Great.
So just let me know when you'd like to do one, and we may do, if there's only 2 of you that can come then so be it.
Okay, fantastic,
It was
thank
very
you.
impressive.
Thank you,
Happy holidays.
Thanks so much.
Jamar, can you hold for 1 second here? It might be worth your while to hear the question about that. So if these guys come up with a plan that they would like to propose to the board, do you want me to work with Jamar to go ahead? What I think is gonna probably be a fairly simple amendment like we've done in the past. Do you want me to try to have that ready for the agenda in January?
You think we can be there?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, well, why don't you business guys, let me know if y'all come to a deal and then we'll look at it in Jamar.
guys and gals.
Yeah, correct, of course. I was just saying these 2 guys in particular, but collectively, yes, of course. But yeah, and I will be around, and so if we can get it done in January, I'd love to, please do February.
Absolutely, we'd love to start seeing the savings.
Yeah, good, awesome, thank you.
Thank you, Jamar.
Appreciate it.
See you later. Okay, at that, stormwater drain, so you want me to give that update, or do you want to, Director Johnson, on stormwater?
Oh, please go ahead.
Okay, so, Director Johnson asked if I would join a call with Kathy Quiddity, as Director Shoemaker was unable to. It was a really interesting call, and basically, long story short, TCQ has new programs, it's paperless, so we had to, agree on the BMPs,
Yeah, B&B.
business, what does this stand for?
Best,
Management practices, okay. Johnson and I went through and did that, is it in the packet, the ones we selected or not?
no, we just got those today.
That's right, okay, we will print these out and make sure you all have them, so basically there's certain things we have to do to keep our MS4 permit intact, it's a 5-year plan. Did you do any training on that yet? Okay, we'll make sure that she gets that, cause I think they just have a video, it's like an hour long, it's really interesting, actually. But it's simple things like how many times you communicate with your residents, and do you check the outlets, and what was really interesting is when we're going through all the things, like we have to have 4 in one category and 3 in another, mandatory by TCEQ. And as we were going through them, we basically were able to check the box off of everything, and was it the lady from TCEQ was like, whoa, I wanna live in Black House, you guys are amazing.
She did say that.
All the things that you're doing to try to educate and communicate with residents about stormwater drains and keeping our creeks clean. So we came up with a couple of new ideas of how to communicate, but we'll give a formal update next month on that.
One thing that struck me is, they're pretty generic requirements, like, I mean, in the broader sense, so, quarterly post to social media educating the residents, right? So it's kind of generic like that. But for most of them, it's just taking credit for things we already do. Like very little of it is gonna be new activities, so
Yeah,
that was heartening.
Good.
We
yeah.
just need to make sure we keep doing them.
And some of the things that we were doing that were mandatory are no longer mandatory.
Yes.
So that was good. So anyways, we'll give you all a full update on that. But the big news is I did go ahead, and sign us up on the TCEQ site. David and I had a little fight on that, but we're better. Who was gonna do it? I got the short stick, but I was strong. But anyways, we're signed up, we're all set, so Kathy and Sean should be happy. So, any questions on that?
No.
Okay, anything from the services subcommittee? Director Johnson?
No, we have not met on that part of it yet. We're still trying to work out if we're gonna, cause it's restricted covenants and professional services. Is that one meeting? Or is it 2 meetings, because the restrictive covenants meeting is Will and Cam, and I don't know that it makes sense to bring in, David Gray and whoever else into that meeting, so it might make more sense to have 2 meetings, so, no.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're doing with amenities and security. We're gonna meet with security separately and then.
That makes sense.
Yeah, cause we don't have pools and everybody in that. Okay, great. Lisa, general manager's report.
Thank you. You could find my report in the packet. There's nothing new that I have currently to bring to your attention. I do want to ask though, Ursula, have you guys actually discussed item 10, which is under amenities for the reservations?
I just said you were gonna cover it.
Okay, great, thank you. So really that actually should have just been more informational. I don't need a board decision. I just wanted to give you all an update. As the general manager, I did go ahead and approve our Polar Bear Swim. This is something that Tidal Waves does on a yearly basis. They're actually going to be holding it on January the 4th in 2025. They're going to be doing setup between 9 and 10 a.m. and then they're going to have residents participating between 10 and 11 a.m. We expect to have a great turnout. It's something that, like I said, the residents have been doing every year. Mark has mentioned with Premier Recreation that they're going to be handling their portion of it. So this is, like I said, just more informational for you all, and this has already been approved by the GM.
Wonderful, thank you. Hey, can we make sure we get that on the east sign?
Absolutely. It actually is on the east sign.
Ah,
I
awesome.
was gonna say, just for the record, that, while it is a Tidal Waves event, it's open to everyone in the neighborhood,
Yeah, fantastic.
so
Is somebody gonna dress up as a polar bear?
I'm,
Absolutely. Fun. Okay, anything else?
That's all I have for you guys at the moment.
Okay, thank you so much, Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay, legal, Sean.
Alright, I don't think I had any directives here under 24. Some good news, under 25, utility easement. We have received compensation for the easement. I have sent over what I believe to be a finalized version of the easement to the engineer and to PEC. Hopeful to have that one done very soon. Under 26, this relates back to, I think we had confirmed to you guys that we had effectively gotten reimbursed for AT&T subs and the damage they had caused to district facilities several months back. Took a while to kind of get their attention, but we haven't heard from them. We have confirmed receipt of the check that came over to compensate us for all the Crossroads invoices I think there were either 3 or 4 of them. In exchange for that, they have, just simply asked for a release agreement, for basically what they've compensated us for, just to confirm that they have compensated us in full for those.
Awesome.
Is that standard?
It is for such cases. Jeff Hobbs, one of the litigators at Armstrong Brown, led the effort on this, not a whole ton of work, but he has reviewed the release and recommends the approval. Happy to answer any questions that you have, would just be looking for approval of the release agreement and execution after the meeting tonight.
Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the release and execution?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And the PEC, do we need to have a decision on that? We don't, 'cause that's all
No
done.
decision, yep, we have, y'all have approved, we had the draft of the easement approved effectively several months ago. It has just taken a while to, check the compensation box, and Tyler's confirmed that.
And that was written by NFM. Do you see
Yes.
that? Yeah, I thought that would be otherwise. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so I had 2 items, election of officers, which is the district registration form. Okay, we will hold that to January, along with 27, 28.
The board meeting structure? Yes. Okay, so this one's my item. We discussed this in the past a little bit, and it's about just the way we structure our meetings. Wells Branch does this, and it's a very fascinating model where they have one meeting that's geared towards just business items. Like, so all they really, and not that no discussion happens, but it's geared towards simply approving things that need approved. Anything that needs formal action goes in that box, into that agenda. The other meeting, obviously both are open to the public, both you would take public comment, but the other one is geared towards policy and specifically geared towards public interaction, kind of like we did in that one meeting where we had a little bit more interaction throughout the meeting instead of just citizens communication at the front. Looking back at this agenda, just as an example, really, I think this item is the only one that would be on that policy item. So I've had an email exchange with Betsy, I believe is the president over at
Yeah,
Wells
she's
Branch. I was hoping to have a conversation before today, but that was not in the cards. So I guess what I'm proposing is, maybe we could talk it through just briefly and, think about maybe for 2 or 3 months splitting into a working session and kind of a business meeting. And we can decide kind of who needs to be at what. Sean, I don't know, I mean, some of the business items are kind of your items, like with the PEC or the bond, and those are business. I don't know if you feel comfortable being online for that, or you can think that through. Certainly, we wouldn't need all of our vendors to be here for policy meetings unless it was like we're changing how we're doing the pools in some significant way, we wanna talk it through. But in general, we wouldn't need all vendors at the meetings, and I think that even though you'd be splitting the meeting into 2, I think most of the time it would be like, instead of 1 hour plus 1 hour being 2 hours at our current meetings, I think it would whittle down without mixing them together.
Yeah.
And it'd be 45 minutes plus 30 minutes, so even though it's the same content, it'd be less, because a lot of times in the 2 years I've been here, I see that, having something on the policy will slow us down for business, or vice versa. So I just wanted to talk that through. We have a new board. My proposal would be doing it for a couple months, and then, if it's a terrible idea, we stop it, right?
Yeah, if you don't mind if I speak first. I think it's a good idea, let's try it out. The one thing I would consider is there probably is gonna be a little bit more cost with it, because you are gonna have our paralegal and Sean working on 2 agendas. And,
That's true.
posting, that kind of thing, but it may
Yeah.
not be significant,
Well,
but if it's more efficient, it may be worth it.
yeah, and like I said, maybe we can try it for even maybe just 2 months, because I don't wanna do just 1 month, because I think I know government well enough to know it'll take us a couple of tries to get the swing of it. I wonder if the time because you're absolutely right, the extra time we spend on agendas, if we can cut the meeting times down, the juice might be worth the squeeze, on
Yeah.
that, so.
And we need to think about, like, would Lovato really need to be here for both?
Right, I would think that
I don't
unless,
mind getting paid for both.
okay. But, you know, unless the policy issue has to do with something with, you know, the sheriff or some other tangential relationship, I don't know that would be necessary. I keep going back and forth as to which meeting you would need to be at, you know.
Well, that may be a base, agenda by agenda, you know?
That's what I was gonna say, you could be, you know, ad hoc on some level, or maybe, you know, maybe you have 1 month where you have just one meeting, and then maybe the next month you
Yeah.
have splits, or,
Yeah.
and then I would think you would wanna give special attention once you get to like budget and tax season.
Right, I wouldn't cut down the number of meetings, yeah, we definitely still have budget-only meetings.
Yeah, cause I think we talked about maybe not exactly what you're talking about, but maybe having a policy meeting
Yeah.
quarterly or something
Yeah.
like that, so yeah.
That could be
and I-
another thing.
And I think, you know, what might work well for Wells Branch might not work well for y'all,
Sure.
something might work well for y'all that
Of
doesn't
course.
work for Wells Branch.
Yeah.
I just wanted, if we can steal some of their idea, if it would be improvement, like this month, if we had been already doing the idea, I would not have suggested a policy meeting just to discuss this one item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that would be silly.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple others that we held over to January that actually are policy too, so.
Sure.
The ones that I held over.
Yeah.
So those would be discussed.
I realize that will also be a scheduling chief flip as well, and so maybe what we can do is over the next month, or I don't know how long everyone thinks it would take, but just going down, Lisa need to be at both.
Yeah.
And Shirley wouldn't physically need to be at both.
Yeah.
But, you know, who would need to be at both meetings, and then the schedule, that's the other thing, is that we have kind of a solid rhythm with our calendar.
Yeah. I'm happy to work with it, I mean, as the president, I have to work on the agenda,
Yeah.
so I'm happy to work with you on that. if
Okay,
you'd like.
let's do that. I think it'd be worth it, and maybe we could keep, just for the regularity with the vendors, maybe we could say that this meeting on this day will be the business meeting.
Yeah.
So that way we don't
Okay,
turn everyone's world upside down.
Okay. Future board meeting and agenda items, so I think January we'll go back to our fourth Wednesday. And then we can go from there on future board dates.
123.
123, okay, anything else that you need to cover? Fantastic,
Move to adjourn?
yes, motion,
I'm sorry, motion.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed?
That is a non-budget
Anyone
item
abstain?
record.